nominating you all honorary Highlanders.
What next, Dr. Marshall? Gale, Caledonia, or maybe go to the Isle? Or Sweet Mo? Remember, I have a little blood that is flying to sleep. Singers, let's rest on our laurels. It is a little late. It should be leaving. Now don't rush off with that. Who wants some more tea?
I'd like a little more, Mr. Marshall.
Fine, Joe. What about other to say?
Well, I've already had two. Three's the charm, Joe. Eat up.
I'll have some more tea, please.
You've earned it, Nancy. You sang like a true lassie.
Oh, it's easy to sing when you lead us, Dr. Marshall.
And what about you two? You've been quiet all evening. Are you just dining on love alone these days?
Peter?
Well, Kate, they are engaged people have been known to live on love. Or is that an old-fashioned notion, George? I don't think so, sir. What about you, Susan? You've been as quiet as a mouse all evening. A church mouse, that is.
I don't have anything to say.
You're getting a rare woman for her wife, George. The speechless variety.
Don't listen back, Miss Susan. Come, have some more tea. Thank you, Mr. Marshall.
I'll get the tea for you, too.
No, okay.
Boston meditation, Alan? No, sir. I was just thinking about how different your meetings are now. I mean, since you become pastor at New York Avenue. You mean noisier? No, sir. I mean, well...
You mean, not as fun.
That's right, Andy. Had a hard time saying the word fun, didn't you? Yes, sir. Because it's still hard for you to associate fun with a church meeting. I guess that's it, sir. You know my answer. Indeed I do. This Judith and this Jessie. Well, I'm glad you're having fun now, because I am too.
It's been so wonderful, Dr. Marshall, the change you've made.
Oh, it's no special change I made, Barbara.
Oh, it is. Why, do you know how many there were in our young people's group before you came? 12.
And now we have over 200. Still, it's not been all my doing. You've all worked hard.
Sure, because you made us louder. Why, I never thought of flying to this bunch.
All we did was sit more solemn. I grew on just because my auntie belonged to an area.
Oh, it was horrible. And then you came, Dr. Marshall.
Now New York is known as the young people's church. So I've been told. Still, I can't take credit for all that's happened here. You should, Dr. Marshall. The reason we all come is because you treat us as we have some sense. You're not always telling us what's wrong. You're telling us what's right. What's good about ourselves. Maybe if some more people like you. Kids don't feel so desperate. We could just sit and talk things out. Well, I just thought you should take credit. Thank you, Joe. It's good to know your feelings. Not everyone's as exuberant about my work as you are. But if you enjoy worshiping God, I'm glad. That's the way I feel it must be. Why can't we worship Him with a smile and song as well as with a sigh? And I felt myself dry, Kate.
I think evenings like this are good for all of us.
We still haven't decided what to do about the youth group.
Before we go back to that, Dr. Marshall, I'd like to ask a favor.
Ask, Nancy.
Well, my high school has quite a reputation in Washington for being tough. Oh, goodness, I'd be scared to go there. Lots of kids feel that way. In fact, it's gotten so bad we can't get speakers for our assembly.
You mean the speakers are afraid of the students?
That's right, Dr. Marshall. The kids are terrible. I couldn't drive a speaker on
and it doesn't cost any money. How much would we need?
We could do a lot with $100. Why doesn't the girl sponsor some fundraising activities?
Like a bake sale, Mrs. Marshall? That's a possibility. We could have a concert. Dr. Marshall could sing Scottish songs.
A body notion. But I have a better idea. What is it? Why don't we have the young people put on a play?
A play? That's a wonderful idea, dear.
It can be a lot of hard work, but it also can be very satisfying.
Have you ever acted, Dr. Marshall?
Oh, indeed he has.
He was a sensation in Atlanta.
Will you help us, sir? Of course. But you'll have to pick a play.
What plays were you in, Dr. Marshall?
I forget the name, but it was grand success. I did an Arab sheik.
An Arab sheik? Oh, you must have been wonderful.
The first Arab in the history of theater with a Scottish bird.
I was persuaded to take the role.
You can imagine how difficult that was.
It was before I was married and there were no lines drawn for me.
No, he was much, much freer.
I can just picture you in an Arab costume, Dr. Marshall.
Oh, it was dashing. We tried very hard to be authentic.
Excuse me.
That's maybe my mother, Mrs. Marshall.
Your mother?
Do you remember any of your lines, Dr. Marshall?
Let me see. If I got into the spirit a little.
Golly, you really look like an Arab.
Now, you be Mignon. She was the heroine.
Mignon, what a romantic name.
Now, Mignon is alone. Suddenly I appear and you say, are you a genie?
Are you a genie? All right.
You're alive. Keep your alive.
Are you a genie?
No, madame. I am an Arab. I am Ali, prince of the house of Hashim, descendant of Ali, the daughter of Fatima, the son of Khadija, the first beloved wife of the Prophet Muhammad.
Peter, dear, are your pleasant
Not
surprise?
now, Kate. Can't you see I'm an Arab?
Dr. Marshall?
Now, Mignon is alone. That's very important. Stay in character.
Peter?
I've come to take you away. Away! Far, far away! Miss Bickle and Miss Bickle.
Dr. Marshall.
Won't you come in?
We seem to be interrupted.
Dr. Marshall was showing us a scene from a play, isn't it?
The young people thought they might put on a play to raise funds for redecorating the youth room.
I believe it was made clear at the last meeting of the board that the church had more immediate problems than the redecoration of the youth room.
Yes, but if you raise the money...
Alice, I believe I came here to speak with Dr. Marshall.
Yes, Aunt Judith.
Of course, it were a dream.
Oh no, we are delighted to see you.
That was obvious.
Oh, the church breaking up.
We really shouldn't have dropped in at this time, but it is so hard to catch Dr. Marshall in these days with all his outside interests.
Well, I think the idea of putting up a play is just perfect.
We'll present it to the whole your family and team.
Good night, Dr. Marshall, Mrs. Marshall.
Good night.
I'll tell you if the school meeting count on you, Dr. Marshall.
I'll be on hand, Nancy. Meanwhile, I'll practice dodging paper one. Good night. Thanks for the cake and tea.
There's more cake in the picture, Joe, if you like it.
No, thanks, Mrs. Marshall. Dr. Marshall, when you got a minute, I'd like to discuss something.
Oh, of course, Joe. Anytime. Good night.
Let me help you with your position, Mrs. Marshall.
That's very kind of you to be today.
Oh, I'd like to. I'm waiting for my mother to pick me up anyway.
Why should your mother pick you up? I'll take you home.
No, George, I'd rather you.
But still,
Please, I'll call you later. Good night.
what happened to me, Mrs. Marshall?
Let me talk with her, George.
I'd appreciate it. Good night.
Good night, George. Won't you sit down, ladies?
You may wait for us outside.
All right, Aunt Judith. Good night, Dr. Marshall, Mrs. Marshall.
Good night, Alice. Now, please listen to your face. I definitely
No.
don't.
Thank you, Miss Marshall.
Then, you'll excuse me.
I'm sure Mrs. Marshall will be right back.
Of course.
Catherine.
Oh, it's okay, Peter. I must have turned my ankle.
You must be tired, Dr. Marshall.
Oh no, not at all.
Really, I wanted to continue to read of
time with outside interests.
Indeed it does.
It's very hard for me to refuse.
As pastor of New York Avenue, you should be mature enough to put first things first.
First things first.
Exactly. Your first responsibility, Dr. Marshall, is New York Avenue.
I try not to be neglectful of my duties.
You are very young man, son, find your energy, your enthusiasm refreshing. To me, it is disturbing.
I see.
Do you? New York Avenue has been our life. My sister and I have grown up here. We've listened to many great ministers speak in our church. We cherish its traditions.
I can understand that.
One of those traditions, Dr. Marshall, is moderation in all things.
Moderation. Are you saying I'm immoderate?
I'm sure Judith don't
Yes,
believe it.
I am. You cater entirely too much to these teenagers.
I feel there is important work to be done with our teenagers. But I've never in all my...
All parishioners like my sister and I are elbowed aside by adolescents who are attracted to the flesh aspect of your ministry, Dr. Marshall.
Oh, Judith, I don't think you meant
Hardly stop telling you what I mean.
It may seem that I spend a great deal of time with them, but if they are attracted to the church because of me, it is only because they have a deep yearning for God. It is still not real to them. I have to find a way to make him real.
Your methods are much too unorthodox for New York Avenue. The Church of the President needs results of sensationalism to attract the type of member we want.
The type of member you want, Miss Pickle, is... And you can...
Mercy, another example of what I mean in moderation.
I'm sorry I was so long.
I was saved by the bell.
I so enjoyed that balance. He's a fine young man.
Oh, we're ready for your hair. Judith, we couldn't feel closer.
Adolescent, stubborn, and undisciplined in many respects. He wastes too much time, like the foolish painting he does.
Surely painting's a healthy outlet.
In recent months, we've noticed a marked increase in his irreverent attitude.
I've never found Alan irreverent.
In fact, you know we might have a call to ministry.
But with a little reading will guide Adam in the choice of his vocation. And if we should ever need assistance, we will ask for it.
I only meant that you mustn't deal with commercials. Judith doesn't appreciate your
Yes,
idea.
yes. I did not come here to speak about my nephew. As you know, I am president of the New York Avenue Missionary Society.
Yes, I know.
Since the society's founding, it has been customary for the pastor to speak at the autumn meeting. I presume it will not work a hardship on you, Dr. Marshall, to be president this year?
I was looking forward to it.
Good. We meet Friday at 2, November 10th at 2.
But November 10th, that's when you promised Nancy.
Last year, I did not find your remarks pertinent, Dr. Marshall, so I prepared a few notes to the guidance of your preparation of this year's address. I trust you will find them helpful.
I'm sure I will.
Come, Desi, Alan is waiting.
I'll see you at the door, Miss Pickle. Dr. Marshall, you mustn't take Judith too seriously. She has very definite ideas about almost everything.
So I've noticed.
The things you can stand up to her. Don't be intimidated.
Desi?
Yes, Judith? You see what I mean? Judith knows who's here.
It's my soapbox, the inner man is deceiving.
You take so much soda.
I'm flashy, sensational, immoderate, immature, and attracting the wrong kind of people to New York Avenue. It was very, very fortunate fate that 9 o'clock struck when it did.
You know Judith Nichols is speaking for a handful. Why the majority of
But that's not the point. The feeling is here, Kate. When I'm in my pulpit, it hampers and restricts me. Maybe I do move too fast. Maybe I'm wrong for accepting outside engagement. But I just can't refuse. It's not in me.
I thought I could help more.
No man could ask for more help. Just to know you're with me is a great comfort. A man needs his wife to lean on.
And I want to be strong for your sake, Peter. Strong for your sake. Excuse me. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No apology at all for assistance. Come in, sit down.
Susan's troubled about our engagement to George here.
Troubled? In what way?
The idea of marriage used to frighten her.
Oh, now, Susan, I think it's all right to be involved. Marriage should be frightened.
George thinks it's childish. Have you talked to her with your mother, dear? Oh, no.
delightful to see you.
Thank you. Sorry to be so late in calling for Susan. If you're ready, dear.
Yes, Mother.
Susan says she's troubled about her marriage with George.
She shouldn't have bothered you, Dr. Marshall.
Oh, it's no bother. We're very fond of Susan and of George.
It's a good double pass. George is a fine young man with a great deal of talent. Susan couldn't do better. And anyway, it is as if she had a choice. She's not prepared to make a career. Marriage is her only answer.
You've had a most successful career, haven't you, Mrs. Grant?
I've never the same. I have more permissions than I can handle.
Your husband is in government service, I believe?
Yes. Stephen has the same job he did when we were married.
I was wondering, perhaps your husband and you and Susan and George could have dinner with Catherine and me one evening soon.
Stephen and I'm afraid not, Dr. Marshall.
Oh, surely one evening can be spared.
Nothing will be gained by bringing Stephen into the matter.
Isn't he already concerned? He is Susan's father.
Your suggestion is impractical, Dr. Marshall. Come on, Susan. It's late and I still have 3 hours work to do. Good night, Dr. Marshall. Mrs. Marshall.
Good night.
Good night, Susan.
And please, don't say anything, Mother, to warn her.
Something very, very much amiss in that family, Kate.
I held my breath. I thought you were going to lecture Mrs. Grant on the folly of mixing marriage and a career.
It occurred to me. Then I looked at the clock. It's a long way till 10. I couldn't pound that bell to save me again. I still need to bring that family together. When we do, we'll see Susan's hesitation for marrying George. I'm in dire need of some soda. What with being an Arab sheep and listening to Miss Judith Bickle all
Judith Pickle? I almost forgot.
What did you forget?
The meeting of the Missionary Society meeting. It's November 10th.
So, I'll have plenty of time to memorize her notes.
But November 10th at 2? That's when you promised Nancy to be there by full assembly.
Soda. I'm in dire need of soda. I need a moderate amount of soda.
Hello? Dr. Marshall husband? Yes, Senator. Yes, he's here. Just a moment, please. Senator James Max Wolf. He's coming, he said.
This is not my night. Yes, hello, Senator Fuller. As neighbors, we don't get... Yes, Senator, we did have a youth meeting here this evening. Well, now, Senator, I'm sure that Marion people would... I know you're an authority on juvenile delinquency. Well, your man must have been mistaken. You may take it up with my trustees if you like. Good evening, Senator. Oh, for the wings of a dove.
What was that all about?
Our good neighbor, Senator Full, thinks that some of our young people are trying to steal equipment from his garage.
Dear, no.
And he means to take up the matter with the trustees. So that the hatch is made, it looks like we're in for a stormy blow. Kate! What is this, Kate? Kate!
Hold up! Hold up! Okay. Every time I settle the
I just came to say goodbye. You've both been so swell. No matter what you're here. Remember, I appreciate what you've done.
What we hear? Joe, you are in trouble.
Nothing you want to be mixed up in, Mrs. Marshall.
Joe, wait.
Just tell Dr. Marshall not to blame himself. I guess they're right. Some kids are just born with it.
Joe!
Peter, John Marshall, get back there and eat your supper. Now!
What is it, Peter John?
He won't eat his supper.
Why not, Peter John? Because it's shredded meat. I thought you liked shredded meat. I did. But I already had it for breakfast and lunch. Hold up.
I never could remember getting too much shredded meat.
Daddy will be home soon. Dear. Show me what you want. Mother, where's the food like it used to? Soon, Peter. I like waffles. I like waffles. You don't cook the way you do. You must pray, Peter John. Pray that God will make you well. I do, Mother. Every day I do. Daddy's home!
Hi, and how's being Peter this evening?
All right. Well, I don't be Peter anymore.
Oh, and who are you?
Big Peter.
I see. And who am I?
Nerd Peter.
An excellent idea. EP and VP. And how's Kate?
Fine, dear. How was the missionary society meeting?
Missionary Society meeting.
Isn't Fickle like to speak?
Oh, you don't want to hear about that. Take her down and say hello.
I don't need to stay, Mrs. Marshall.
It's kind of being said hi, Alan. Well, that reminds me. Joe Keating was here. He sounded very upset. He said he was leaving town.
I'm worried about Joe. He hasn't been attending church regularly.
Then I'm hungry. And holiday is sure to be.
No. Well, let's say you and I have a man-to-man talk with Hulda. Alan, tell Mrs. Marshall your idea about the mural.
All right, sir.
Daddy, are you afraid of all this?
Not if you hold my hand.
Now, what's his idea?
Well, you know we've had trouble fixing up the youth room.
Yes,
I do a little painting. I'm not very good at it, but I found it a way to let off steam.
I'm sure it is.
So Dr. Marshall thought it would be a good idea to do a mural on the wall of the youth room.
What would the subject be?
You know Dr. Marshall's sermon about the calling of the 12 apostles?
I think it's one of his best.
So do I. He makes Jesus and the apostles seem so real. Flesh and blood. I like to try to capture the spirit of that sermon in my painting.
That's an inspired idea, Alan.
I've been sort of fumbling, trying to find myself. Maybe this will help me too.
I'm sure it will.
If I can capture Dr. Marshall's vision, the Christ of the gospel, striding up and down the dusty miles of Palestine, suntan, bronze, fearless.
You can, Alan. I'm sure you can. Would you mind? Hold is allergic to bells. Nothing, see, Mom. Nothing to worry. Is that Nancy? Yes, Mrs. Marshall. And Barbara. We don't need to disturb you. But Nancy's had to come over here and thank Dr. Marshall. Is he here? Yes, he's in the kitchen with Peter John.
I'll tell him he has guests.
What's all they said? Why are you thanking my husband? Oh, you should have heard him. He was
Now, Kate, I've had to go to that high school.
But Miss Bickle, the Missionary Society?
Miss Bickle and the Missionary Society neither needed nor want to be there this afternoon. Those kids did.
What did you tell them?
I asked Dr. Evans to go and I sent a note of apology.
They'll be trouble.
Very likely. Hello. Oh, yes, Mrs. Grant. So nice to hear. Susan. Just one moment. Did Susan Grant stop by here this afternoon? I'm sorry, Mrs. Grant. We can't locate her. Okay. If she stops by, we'll have her call you. At your office.
Susan's missing?
Her mother can't locate her. She sounded quite concerned. But in all this worry, I forgot to ask the most important question. How are you?
Don't ask me. I'm just looking for an excuse to cry.
Poor girl. I know what it's like lying here day after day.
Lying here when I should be helping you.
Hey, don't.
I know. I should have faith in him, and at first I did. But days like this.
At first, Kate, are you setting a time limit on God's mercy? Are you telling him when to help you, how to help you?
You can't understand, Peter. You're so strong, so sure.
You're like me, Peter, when he brings me a toy to be fixed. He's tried and tried, and he can't fix it, so he brings it to me. And then what does he do? He stands by, fighting and criticizing. Sometimes he can get so impatient, he snatches the toy away. Isn't this what you're doing to our Heavenly Father?
I don't know. But Holden's leaving now, and we don't want to take her place.
Who could take Rose place? Who else could clean a room and make it look dirtier?
All right, she's no treasure.
That's generally agreed.
She's better than I want to keep her at all.
By a very, very narrow margin.
Peter, be serious. What are we going to do?
Find someone else.
But this will go on and on. Maybe I'll never do well.
Catherine.
I know I should have faith in Peter. But I'm so weak. Maybe I'm not worth his help.
No, Kate. You prayed and prayed. And now you're impatient with him because he's not proceeding in the way you see best.
All I want is best for us, Peter.
Kate, our words are in his hands. Rest in the Lord. Wait patiently, and he shall give you the desires of thine heart. Let's ask him for strength, Kate, and patience. Hear us, dear Lord, as we pray for some who need stronger hearts. Will thou strengthen the hearts of those we may need it now? We pray for some who are sick of tuberculosis, while human skill can do this and that and say, wait and rest. We know that thy skill can heal lungs. Hear us, dear Lord, as we pray for them.
Thank you, dear.
More visitors.
Hold us that we know too many people.
We are immoderately social.
I don't think Paula needs to answer it.
Those who have ears to hear and fear not.
Doorbell's ringing.
How very, very observant of you.
I'll see who it is on my way out.
This is goodbye.
It is. The little boy wants you to put him to bed.
All right.
There's cold cats for supper. Or you can warm it if you're finicky.
Hot or cold, it tastes the same.
Whatever at the door. I'm going. Just one thing more. In spite of everything, Dr. Marshall, I will use the free use my name anytime you folks need a reference.
Kate, did you hear that?
I heard.
Well, aren't you overwhelmed by all the generosity?
Excuse me.
Susan,
The woman at the door said to come in.
of course. As a matter of fact, we've been expecting you.
Expecting me.
Your mother called a little while ago.
What did she tell you?
Only that you had quarreled with her. She sounded quite concerned.
Oh, Dr. Marshall, what am I going to do?
You quarreled with her again.
I have no right to come here about you.
You know we want to help you.
There was no one else I could turn to.
It was a bad fight with your mother?
And with George. It was terrible, Dr. Marshall. They tried to make me set a date for the wedding. But I can't marry George, and I feel the way I do.
You doubt a person's love.
Oh no, George has been wonderful. I'm to blame. I'm just afraid of marriage.
And you think running away will help?
I thought if I could get away from Mother for a little while. I know this is a terrible time, Mrs. Marshall said it all, but just for a few days.
You know we'd like to help you, Susan, but we are That doorbell is louder than Joshua's trumpet.
Peter, I don't have to see anyone else. If Susan would help me to my room, of course, and I'll show her where she can put her things.
All right. You know, I'm beginning to sympathize with Hulda.
Daddy, I'm ready for bed.
Just a minute, son. This is an unexpected pleasure, Senator Poole. I'm not here for small talk. Now, where's that young thief? Sit down, Senator Poole. Don't think you can stall me. I listened to you 6 weeks ago, and this is the result. What is the result? One of those delinquents you caught here stolen more than $50 worth of equipment from my garage. Now, you must be mistaken, sir. I am not mistaken. We have proof, an accomplice, and a man who admits receiving the stolen goods. Who is it you're accusing, Senator? A boy named Joseph Steele. Joe, we know he was here this afternoon to see you, Marshal. If you're wise, you'll tell me where he's hiding. You're right. Joe was here, but I was out. Don't think you can shield this boy. This is one time when my methods for dealing with juvenile delinquents will be enforced.
Daddy, you're over here.
Answer it, will you, son? Senator, I know a great deal about this Joseph Keating. He comes from a home... I'm not interested in that. You let these young people use you. You're too soft-hearted. I personally feel you're kind of meant to encourage juvenile delinquency. I don't know what you consider coddling, Senator. A crime is a crime. Anyone who violates the law must be punished. Age and background have nothing to do with it.
Daddy, Julian's here, and one looks really mad.
Miss Pickles and Miss Pickles.
Senator Poole.
Good evening, ladies.
Dr. Marshall, I believe you owe me and the 200 ladies of the New York Avenue Missionary Society an explanation.
200 ladies. Are they all with you?
Dr. Marshall. Daddy, is there anything I can help?
Yes, get down the soda box and hurry.
It's not that I don't want to see you, George.
Oh, then what is it?
Dr. Marshall will be coming home from church. And
I know. I talked to Matt in church. He's the one who suggested that I stop by.
he did.
Preached a wonderful sermon at the 11 o'clock services about marriage.
He preached the same sermon at 9 o'clock.
Sue, you've been here a month.
It's been a marvelous month.
A lonely month, I mean.
That night I came here, I was running away.
From me?
Partly, but from mother, home, even myself. Oh, George, I'm so sorry for myself. So mixed up and miserable.
Why did you come here?
I don't know, or at least I didn't. Someone just told me to come to Marshall. It's been a terrible time for you, George.
Sure, this is Marshall being sick and all.
I was only going to stay overnight, but I realized there was a reason for my coming here. A bigger reason than just that I had time for myself.
A bigger reason?
The Marshals took me in because that's the way they are. They were in a terrible spot, and they needed someone to watch over their house. They've been praying night and day for answers to their problems.
Then you walked in.
Then I walked in. For the first time in my life, I felt that I was in the right place at the right time.
I'm blessed, Sue.
Dr. Marshall said that it was the will of God that brought me here. And I believe that. Every day there are getting more certain that God's peace is with me.
But for how long?
As long as I'm needed.
And what about us, our marriage?
I know it's not easy for you, George, but if you can be patient,
I can wait as long as needed if I have any reason to go.
you do, George. I love you. Every day there is getting more certain of that. I do love you.
Then I can get Sue. Gee, I forgot.
What is it?
I need to go alone. Someone else has to see you. Well, George, I see you found your way. Yes, sir. I was just going out to...
George, you like married Susan?
Well, that was the idea, Peter John.
She's a good cook.
There's your recommendation, Susan.
She's sitting here.
Mrs. Marshall upstairs?
Yes,
Come on, boy. Mr. Grant, so sorry. Susan, we found your father waiting outside, so we brought him in.
Dad.
Hello, Susan.
Dad, it's George's name of Susan. Can I?
I'll be in the car, Mr. Grant. See you later, Susan.
Goodbye, George. What's the sound of it?
I wasn't. I only came by to say hello, see if you were all right.
I'm fine.
George invited me to church with him this morning. Dr. Marshall preached a moving sermon.
I'm married.
Sue, since you've left home, I've been doing a lot of thinking about our home. I mean our family.
So have I, Dad.
All this misunderstanding between you and George is my fault.
No, Dad.
Yes, because I haven't been much of a father
That's not true.
or much of a husband. But don't judge marriage by what you've seen in our home. It doesn't have to be like that. George is a fine man, not an impulsive.
Oh, Dad.
Oh, I didn't mean to upset you, but this morning in church I saw so clearly where I failed you.
You haven't. She wasn't say that.
You're happy here, aren't you?
Yes.
Your mother can't understand it.
She won't listen. So simple.
Marion is just anything that's simple, easy. Well, I don't think you, George, do.
You must come back and visit, Dad. I want you to know Dr. Marshall.
I'd like to.
Sue, Mrs. Marshall's not in her room, and what's more, her robe is lying across the foot of her bed.
Oh, no. But where did she be?
I don't know, but she's feeling any worse this morning.
She was very tired.
What could she have done?
I don't know, sir. I'll try and find her.
Well, does the pastor of New York Avenue have nothing better to do?
Kate, I was so worried when I went into your room. You're dressed,
How very, very observant of you.
and you're wandering around as if you
As if
are.
I were a well woman.
Exactly. Now will you please go over?
Peter, I'm going to be all right.
Of course you are. But the doctor says that you
No,
must...
not what the doctor says, what I know in my own heart. Dear, last night I was in the depths of despair.
I sensed that it was a bad time.
I kept going over and over in my mind the prayers we said, the hopes we had. I was still awake this morning when you went to services.
I hadn't realized it.
I lied there in the quiet, listening to the church bells, and then suddenly I saw my lieutenant.
Kate,
Darling, I've been demanding of God. I couldn't help it as my right. And never, not for one moment, I accepted rebelling against my illness. This morning I saw there's only one way left.
submission to his will.
Yeah, and I prayed in a new way. I told God I did everything I knew to do, and it hadn't been enough. I was weary of trying to persuade him to give me what I wanted. I told him if he wanted me to be an invalid for the rest of my life, it was okay. I told him to take me and my life and do whatever he liked. Darling, the moment I said this prayer, I felt a strange new peace.
Kate,
I remembered all the stories from the New Testament of the people Jesus cured, and in each story, it seemed he asked the person cured to do one thing, some small thing. So I asked him what he wanted me to do, and he answered me, Peter. He really answered me.
of course he did.
He told me to get up and to come and tell you. So I have, and I know it's going to be all right.
I know that too, Kate. Oh, I've waited so long for this moment. The moment when you can really take your hands off and trust your problems to him. Our answers always come when our faith is so small that we expect the worst. But you had the courage to let him decide. Now, Mrs. Marshall, if you'll rest yourself,
Dr. Marshall, I looked everywhere. Oh, Mrs. Marshall, we were so worried.
it's all right, Susan. The lost is found.
Shall I get on with dinner?
Yes, and I think I'll try to have mine with friends.
Oh, yes.
What would we have done about Susan?
She was a godsend. I mean that literally. George and her father stopped by after church.
Her father? What kind of man is he?
Quiet, reserved. I'm sure, Kate, that we won't help Susan until we help her parents in their marriage.
Her mother doesn't want to be helped.
If I ever saw a woman who thought she had all the answers, it's Marion Grant. What must it be like living with someone who's never wrong?
I like it.
Kate.
I'm pleased to be there. You'd be the person that you were wrong.
If I ever were. No wonder Susan hesitates to marry George when she looks at their parents and their marriage.
Marion Grant's ambition is having a real marriage.
I still need to bring that family together for a talk. Talk! I almost forgot.
Forgot what?
You'll never guess who was in my office Hello, this is Dr. Marshall. May I speak with Senator Polk, please? Thank you. I told him that I was sure we could make the senator. Yes, Senator. Yes, I'm sorry to call you on a Sunday, but I have some news that will interest you. That boy that took that equipment from your garage, Joe Keating, yes, well, he's come back. Yes, he wants to make full restitution, Senator. Well, he's agreed to come to the parsonage. Yes, so if you can slip over, the three of us can sit down. We'll expect you then, Senator.
The senator said change of heart. I thought he wouldn't be satisfied until Joe was behind bars.
Now, Kate, the senator is a reasonable man.
Are we thinking of the same Senator Polk?
Kate.
Isn't this the eminent authority on juvenile delinquency, whose solution to the problem is that everyone between the ages of 12 and 20 in prison?
Now, Kate, the senator may have been a little extreme in some of his sentiments, but essentially he is
I know, a reasonable man. And what reasonable solution to Joe's problem the senator suggests?
I thought Joe could perhaps serve a probationary period, reporting 2 or 3 times a week to the senator and me.
Proving that one misdemeanor doesn't make a hardened criminal.
That's it. Actually, this could do a great deal of good if we can prove to the senator that these kids can be held.
So long as Joe isn't hurt here.
Oh, of course Joe won't be hurt. That'll be Joe now. I've got it, Susan.
I have never been so scandalized!
I'm sorry, Mrs. Marshall. I tried to keep them from coming here.
Hello, Ellen, what's the problem?
You told me to upset you, Mrs.
I
Marshall.
mean, for everyone to be upset as I am.
Not everyone has your capacity, Aunt Judy.
Now, Alan, what's all this flurry about?
Well, it isn't true.
It's scandalous. After service today, Dr. Marshall, my sister and I went into the youth room.
I see.
Judith and I have so many memories of that room.
Like we stared jealously. On one entire wall of that room, Dr. Marshall, we found a corpse and vulgar painting which my nephew confessed he perpetrated.
You mean Alan's mural of the calling of the 12 apostles?
I mean that blasphemous depiction of Jesus and his apostles, which I flashed on that wall, under your direction, Dr. Marshall.
But surely Alan hasn't been guilty of
I have been accused of trying to capture the spirit of Dr. Marshall's sermon in paint, and Aunt Judith finds it offensive.
Worse than offensive. I've never seen anything like it.
And that automatically makes it bad.
Of course, Judith and I don't get to art galleries much.
This is not an art gallery. This is a room in New York Avenue. The detective's mind to desecrate our church.
It's not your church exclusively, Aunt Judith. There are several hundred other members.
I've seen Alan's painting. In fact, I watched it in progress.
That is what I find so alarming. That you, the pastor of New York Avenue, should have encouraged the young man in this blasphemy.
That's such a strong word, Judith. The painting is startling.
What
Like,
startling you mean, Aunt Jessie?
Was.
Aunt Judith ordered the janitor to paint over it.
You destroyed Alan's painting?
I had no alternative. If our pastor has no concern for the appearances, then we trustees must assume his responsibility.
Miss Bickle, you had no right to obliterate that mural.
I had every right. I was protecting our young people and saving my nephew from disgrace.
Our young people were enthusiastic about Alan's painting. In fact, some of them seemed to find it inspirational.
Inspirational.
Yes, Aunt Judith, and as for my being disgraced, you've destroyed the only worthwhile thing I've ever done.
now Alan here.
I don't think the mural was great, but it did have feeling. I did succeed in capturing a little of Dr. Marshall's vision.
That mural was living testimony to your belief, Alan.
Oh, it's gone now. And Aunt Judith can have the satisfaction of knowing that she destroyed my faith.
Alan, don't.
Do you know why you had to wipe out my painting?
Because it was irreligious.
No, because it had feeling, and that's unforgivable. Your religion is like everything else about you, bleak, narrow, and cold.
Alan, don't.
You don't go to church because you long for his word or need his consolation. You go because your family always has. Your religion is just an empty hat.
That is enough, Alan.
No, not quite. You will oppose Dr. Marshall because he sees religion as a living vital force.
Alan, I know you mean love.
You hate my painting because I see Jesus as Dr. Marshall did. Suntan, bronze, but out of your house and out of your tight, narrow little world.
Ellen, no.
Ellen!
You didn't mean it. You didn't know it, didn't I hope you're satisfied, Dr. Marshall.
Miss Steele, I would give anything to have spared you this.
Don't play this hypocrite with me. You have been undermining my husband to my nephew ever since you came. Peter would never try to. And what you have done to Alan, you have done to the other young people of New York Avenue. You are determined to smash our tradition. Well, I am just as determined that you will not succeed.
I don't ever wish to smash anything. It's just different people look at things in different ways.
I know. And your way is wrong. I have known that since the first, and I shall see to the others know. Come, Bessie. Ellen means so much to her, Dr. Marshall, and to me.
You can't believe I deliberately turned Alan against you.
No, I can't. It's you, Bessie. Yes, Judith. It's so hard being caught in between, Dr. Marshall. All my life, I've been in between. So what are you going to do?
I don't know.
Why do you keep rubbing your arm?
Nothing. A little tingling sensation. Nerves.
Dr. Marshall, there's someone to see you.
To see me.
He waited in the medical system last.
Joe!
I invited him for dinner. I hope it's all right.
It's more than all right. It's all obligatory.
Some of the big systems coming in, so I decided to use the back door.
Welcome home,
I told Dr. Marshall I didn't want to make any more troubles for you.
There's not going to be any more trouble, Joe. I've asked the senator to come over. He should be here any minute. Sit down. You look tired.
I am tired, Dr. Marshall. You get awful tired of running away. I knew the whole time it was crazy to run, but then when I got your letter, I knew what I had to do.
It took courage for you to come back.
I never had made it had I thought about you, Dr. Marshall. I got no excuse for what I did. I stole. When the other kids suggested we could break in the senator's garage and steal the equipment, I knew it was wrong, that to be influenced by them, but I thought of what the money would buy, and I stole.
Joe, if you needed some money, you should have come to me.
You had your own problems, Dr. Marshall, big ones. It didn't need to be bothered with mine,
So you tried to solve your problem in your own way.
and it was the wrong way. The money's all here, you'll give it to the senator?
I want you to do that, Joe.
Okay, I know I got to be punished.
That's right, Joe. But there are different kinds of punishment. And I think you started taking a lot of punishment. That'll be the senator now.
Cheers here, Dr. Marshall.
Don't worry, Joe. We're going to stand by you.
Just hope they don't send me away. I've seen what happens to the kids when they're sent away.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
No one's sending you anywhere. Dr. Marshall,
Just show the senator in, Susan.
it isn't Inspector Fulton here.
Well, who is it?
A policeman, sir. He said he's been ordered to arrest Joe Key.
say your prayers.
Forget my prayers and so close to Christmas. Then we have to see you now.
Do you have to go?
We must. Will you be stationed near Washington?
For a while, at least.
Now we'll be seeing you.
I hope so, Nancy.
Good night, Dr. Marshall, Mrs. Marshall. Stop by again, girls. We will. The uniform is ready to be coming down.
Sit down, sit down. Come on, George, let's get started on those guys. Sure.
Mr. Frank, we didn't watch pictures.
Oh, it'll be my pleasure. We'll help Susan out. Be good practice for you.
Have you been to see your aunts?
I wrote them from camp.
But you are going to see them.
No, Mrs. Marshall.
This is so worrying.
Now, Alan, I think it's a fine thing for a young man to serve his country. But to leave college in the middle of a term,
There's nothing noble about my enlisting. I'm just running away.
from what?
My aunt's responsibility, myself.
I know you were hurt by your Aunt Judith's actions, but is this the answer? Hurting her in return?
Dr. Marshall, there have been times in the past few months when I thought I might have a calling to the ministry.
Catherine and I had high hopes.
Last Sunday, I knew I was wrong. I can never become a minister.
I think you have all the qualifications.
No. If I'm going to serve him, I want to give him my best. To be as honest and uncompromising as you are, Dr. Marshall.
I can understand that.
That painting was my attempt to express my feelings about him, about the ministry. When Aunt Judith had it destroyed, I knew I could never fight for my own ideals.
And I think you're underestimating yourself.
No, Mrs. Marshall, I don't have the patience nor the inner strength.
Alan, when you give your life to him, he provides all the strength and patience you need.
But I'm not worthy of him. When the going is rough, I run away. He needs more men like you, Dr. Marshall.
All of us have times when we feel like running away.
But you don't. I just stopped by to say hello.
We'll be seeing you soon again.
I hope so. Goodbye, Mrs. Marshall.
Goodbye, Alan.
Alan, I wish you'd change your mind about seeing your aunts. The weeks and months ahead won't be easy for you, and if you're carrying a grievance...
I'm sorry, Dr. Marshall. I have nothing to say to them. Goodbye.
Oh, if you could only learn to understand and forgive.
Seriously, Lenara. Is your arm still bothering you?
Oh, no, Kate. Just a habit.
I wish you checked with the doctor.
I will next week. I've been so busy.
Too busy. You spend so much time with Joe.
Oh, if they send that boy away, Kate.
The senator's making political capital of the case now. He can't back down. It's your philosophy against his.
Joe would have been better off if I hadn't interfered. As an ordinary first offender, he would have gotten a suspended sentence. Now, Senator Polk is using all his influence to make an example of Joe.
Trying to discredit you.
Senator and Miss Bickle have called a special meeting of the trustees this week.
Do you think any of the other trustees have been influenced?
I don't know, but I'm prepared for the worst. I've ordered a dozen boxes of soda.
I know he's here. And I know you've all been talking about me.
Mother, please.
Where is he?
This is Grant.
I know he's been coming here looking for sympathy.
Mother, don't. If you're looking for your husband, Mrs. Grant, he is here. We invited him for dinner.
You were invited too.
You told me you had to work.
First you hid my daughter from me. Turned her into a maid.
That's not true. I came here because I wanted to.
Now it's Stephen.
Sit down, Mrs. Grant.
What are you trying to do, Dr. Marshall? Destroy our home?
No, Marion. He can't destroy our home because we never had it.
Stephen.
Dr. Marshall has been trying to help me understand why we never had a home. And why Susan had to leave our home to find out what marriage really is.
Leave? Dad's right. Being with the Marshalls doesn't seem what marriage can be.
It doesn't have to end like ours, Marion. Two people going their separate ways, staying together for only convenience and appearance.
If our marriage failed, it isn't because I decided. I don't know what Stephen can say
Sit
about
down,
that.
Mrs. Grant. Sit down.
I won't be intimidated.
I have no wish to intimidate you or anyone. Why did you assume your husband would be talking about you?
Because I know Stephen. He's weak. If something goes wrong, he'll find someone to blame. Usually me.
very interesting. In all of our conversations, I never heard your husband utter one word of complaint against you. He blames himself. He feels that he was weak and indecisive. So at least you two have one thing in common. You both blame him for the failure of your marriage.
Well, I haven't said much, though it hasn't been easy.
Hasn't it? And what have you sacrificed, Mrs. Grant?
Sacrifice.
Marriage means sacrifice. A woman must be ready to give up her own ambitions and lose herself to the life her husband chooses.
That's an old-fashioned idea.
Of course, as old-fashioned as the Word of God.
Where would we have been if I hadn't worked, big as my career?
Together.
Together? In some wretched little subdivision house just getting by?
Your husband has always had a good job, Mrs. Grant. He makes a very comfortable living.
Why, in a few months, I make as much as Stephen does in half a year.
My point is, there was no real economic necessity for you pursuing this career after you married.
Stephen had no drive, no ambition.
It should have been ambitious for him, not for yourself.
I wanted Susan to have things.
The wrong things, Mother. Unimportant things.
We had a lot of money, Marion, but our marriage, it wasn't paid for.
You're all against me. Things have gone wrong, so I'm to blame.
Aren't we both to blame?
I did what I thought was best.
Just for your marriage and your family, weren't you just unwilling to make marriage a full-time job?
This is the 20th century. Women have learned to make marriage a career.
Have they? I always feel it is a regrettable necessity when a woman is forced to work after she's married. Being an average wife and mother can demand all the average woman can give. Divide her energies and something suffers. Too often it's the marriage.
There's no point in my staying here. It's clear I'm your scapegoat.
No one's the scapegoat. We want to help you.
It's not too late, Marion.
Isn't it? I thought Susan was all right. Inspired by the marshal.
Susan's all right. I'm thinking of us. We made a new start.
All right. Excuse yourself, I blame me. I don't care.
Mrs. Grant, marriages are made in heaven, but they must be lived on earth. Heaven only comes to earth as we work for it. There's no wound he can't heal, no problem he can't solve. If you two will get down on your knees together and ask his forgiveness and help, you'll get it.
Please, just let me go. I'm sorry I came.
Mother, don't go.
Marion!
Stay with her now. She needs you.
Marion, wait!
I guess we should be going. Yes.
George, I'm glad you could come.
Yes, and George. Yes, sir. Remember what you two have seen here tonight. No two lives become one without some painful adjustments. Every couple has their little quarrels, misunderstandings. Am I right, Mrs. Marshall?
Yes, dear.
But if you'll pray together, you'll find him smoothing the way. You just can't pray together and stay mad at each other. Try it. We will, sir.
I'll see you now. Dear, do you think the grass is a chance?
Chance. Material success has come to mean too much to her.
With so much to thank for.
Yes, for giving us each other and Teacher John.
No matter what's ahead, we'll have his help.
And no man needs more than that.
Can I get you anything else?
No, I don't believe so.
Then I can help alone. We'll see you in the morning. Good night.
I'm a bit tired too, dear. I think I'll head up.
You go on ahead. I should work to take care of it.
You won't stay out late, promise?
Promise. Hello. Yes, this is Dr. Marshall. I say, this is Dr. Marshall. This is Dr. Marshall. Is this Miss Jessie Bickle? Yes. I'm sorry. The clocks were striking. Yes. I'm sorry to call you so late, but I just wanted to let you know that Alan stopped by here this afternoon. Yes, he seems well. He says he's written you from camp. Do you plan to answer his letter? I suppose that was your sister's decision. Yes, I know she's proud. But Alan is proud too. Forgiveness has to start somewhere. Yes, you hate being in the middle. Well then get out of the middle. If you want to write Alan, write to him. If you'd like to come over and maybe talk. I suppose not. Well, I just wanted to your pulpit.
Which is where I should have stayed. A minister's place is in his church.
Joe and boys like him will only get help through ministers like me. You feel you're an expert on juvenile delinquency.
I've studied the problem. My reports have been widely circulated.
So far as I've read, Senator Folt, all your reports say is that you're against juvenile delinquency.
Well, now, I don't ever
Everyone's against it. Deplores it. What can we do to stop it?
I've made my position clear.
Yes, law enforcement without mercy. Your recommendations are for reprisals against these youngsters who have fallen out of step with our law.
Falling out of step? Do you call stealing falling out of step?
Yes, I do. A thief must be punished, but the age of the thief should dictate the type of punishment he receives.
More coddling.
Far more important is the help we owe these youngsters.
Hell, look here. I didn't come to listen to a lot of theory.
I know you came to tell me that I have to desert Joel Keating. Well, I'm telling you, Senator, that I have no intention of deserting him.
Your trustees may have something to say on that score.
No doubt. But I'm saying this to you. You and men like you have to stop thinking about what can be done to juvenile delinquents and start thinking about what can be done for them.
You're in no position to hand out any advice.
You come here like the Pharisees in the New Testament. You've got a stone in your hand, ready to hurl it at Joe or any kid like him.
Well, I heard one sermon today.
Then listen to another. Remember what our Lord said to those Pharisees, Senator. He who is without sin, let him cast the first stone. We've got to stop pointing the problem of our teenagers with stones in our hands.
I've made my position
We
clear.
act more childish and willful than the teenagers themselves. We forgot the meaning of forgiveness. There's no greater need than that today. The need of forgiving one another. Husbands and wives, parents and children, the whole world is crying out for forgiveness. Without it, our troubled hearts,
Dr. Marshall, what is it?
Senator, I'm in great pain. Will you please call my wife?
Very, very quiet.
Why?
Doctor said so. Gotta do what the doctor says, Daddy.
I've been doing what the doctor says for 3 months and more.
I didn't mean to bother you.
Oh, bother me. Since when does a boy bother his dad?
When I talked to Mama.
The way your mother and that doctor act, you think my ears were weak instead of my heart. Taken away my phone, stopped all my clocks, and turned my son into a whispering pussyfoot.
You're being loud, Daddy.
All right, I know. Run along and leave me to my deafening quiet.
You ran back to my
Yes, I did. It was such a relief to hear some noise. I think I'll ring again.
Can I get you?
Yes, a blaring radio and a room full of people.
Now, Dr. Marshall, you know what's happening.
Doctor says, I know, that man is more quoted than the president.
If there's nothing else there.
Oh, but there is. Brady gave a parcheesi.
Dr. Marshall,
Chess.
you know very well.
Tiddlywinks.
No, either. You get much too excited.
Of course I get excited. What's the point of playing a game if you don't?
Excited is bad for you, sir.
I'm of the opinion that all this quiet is much worse. They've even muffled the doorbell. I wonder if Kate doesn't insist visitors send up smoke signals. It'd be much quieter. You saw I'm gathering my strength too, sir.
Nancy and I are going to be bridesmaids, and I'm practicing to catch a bridal bouquet. What good will it be with Ellen in the army, Nancy? You won't be in the army forever.
How old is Alan?
Fine. You meet us out by later, he said.
Good, I haven't had a real talk with him in months.
I should have known. My husband would gather a crowd at the North Pole.
I tried, Mrs. Marshall.
She did, valiantly. Don't blame your jailer.
It's not that I want to be
She
inhospitable.
just wants to keep her poor husband isolated.
Mom, Dad, I need to take a tea here.
They were kind enough to give me a lift, so I insisted they come in and say hello. I thought Peter might be lonely.
We can't stay.
Come in, come in. We were on our way to the backyard.
So wonderful seeing you, Dr. Marshall. I hope this hasn't too much excitement.
Oh, best medicine I've had yet.
Let me put these flowers in the vase, and I'll see you before you go.
We'll stop by the kitchen.
Sit down, sit down.
We mustn't.
Marion and I are going couple.
Really?
The place we have is so ridiculously expensive and impractical.
We want a house with land.
I think that's so wise. What he means is, we want to have some time for grandchildren.
Well, with Sue and George being married in June.
It is to be foresighted.
Dr. Marshall, for a long time I've wanted to thank you.
Thank me.
Yes, that night for you, you made me really look at myself. I despise what I thought. If it hadn't been for you, I would have never done it.
Don't thank me, Mrs. Grant. Thank God.
We do.
When I think of the years we lost, it's my selfishness.
Don't think of those lost years. Think of the years to come.
Of course. You know, all those years that I was struggling to make a career for myself, I had to keep convincing myself that what I was doing was worthwhile. But now I feel as if I'm carrying out a plan, a divine plan.
And the difference has been in my work, you wouldn't believe.
But I would. Every man needs a woman to encourage his hopes, build up his self-esteem, and understand his worth. That's God's intention.
Young women need to be taught before they make a mistake. I did, Dr. Marshall. You must get well quickly. They're so badly needed. Dr. Marshall Steele, I mean, Mrs. Grant. But first,
First, you must get better, and we are tiring him. Come on, dear.
No, you're not tiring me. You can't believe how good it makes me feel to see you two here together. Really together.
we'll look in again soon.
Don't bother seeing us out. We'll stop by the kitchen for a word or two.
Goodbye, and thanks for the lift. God keep you, Dr. Marshall. Isn't that wonderful?
What puzzles me, Kate, is that so few husbands and wives look to God for help when their marriages are failing.
They won't take the time to discover what His grace can do.
But first, there must be an agreement between them.
Of course.
It doesn't do for the wife to beg for one thing while all the time the husband is asking for something contrary.
I know.
Kate, are we praying towards the same end?
We both want to well and strong again.
But short of that.
I don't want anything short of that.
Kate, a long, long time ago in Scotland, I made a bargain with God.
Yes, I know.
I gave my life to be free to use wherever, however he needed.
But
There were no ifs, ands, or buts. I dedicated my life to the ministry, leaving the results, including my health, entirely up to God.
Peter,
My best, Kate.
your best demands too much of you. You know what the doctor has
The
said.
doctor isn't concerned in this bargain of
But
mine.
what about me? Am I concerned?
Yes, Kate, of course you are. It's so important that we be in agreement on this.
You can serve him, Peter, but in new ways. Ways that will spring your heart. If you try to serve him as preachers did before, it'd be throwing your life away.
Not if I were serving him.
There are many kinds of service.
She wants me to avoid those
But you stay in that chair. There.
Now, did you get my radio and my telephone and
No, positively not. Sit and present yourself.
Yes, silence agreed. Silence is golden. Fool's gold.
There must be somebody for the young people's group.
Send them in here first. Senator Polk.
Good to see you, Dr. Marshall. I was dropping Joe off for a meeting, so I thought I'd look in.
Glad you did. And how is Joe?
Fine, sir. You're looking well.
And that's Mrs. Marshall.
Hi, dear. Won't you sit down?
Thank you. Joe and I just finished Easter dinner, sort of a celebration.
Celebration.
Yes, the senator and I thought we should celebrate my new job.
What job?
Joe's going to be a Senate case, Mrs. Marshall. Starts tomorrow.
Joe, that's wonderful.
I'd like to shake your hand again.
Thanks. We thought you and Mrs. Marshall should know first.
I couldn't be happier, Joe, for your sake.
I know, and for mine. Joe and I both come a long way since that night you and I argued here, Dr. Marshall.
Oh, now, Senator, let's not call it an argument. Let's say you stated your viewpoint and I stated mine.
And when I compared the two, I saw how empty mine was. You know, until that night, Dr. Marshall, it had been a long time since I prayed. I mean, really prayed. Oh, I said the standard words, but there had been nothing in my heart until that night.
I'll never forget. You were so helpful.
All that time waiting for the doctors and the ambulance, I kept thinking what you said to me about the need for forgiveness.
I remember.
And I realized that if you died that night, I'd never have a chance to ask for forgiveness, that you might never know you had touched me. So I started to pray.
I see.
At first, I was only praying automatically, but gradually, there was a difference. It wasn't just words. I was begging for my heart to be spared.
Thank you, Senator Polk.
But I realized that instead of just asking your forgiveness, I should do something to prove I was worthy of it. That's when I decided to work with Joe instead of against him. I couldn't believe it that next morning when the senator came to see me. It wasn't easy.
Well, of course it wasn't.
But as I got to know Joe, I realized how wrong I'd been, trying to fight juvenile delinquency with hate instead of love.
Senator, that night just before you came, I was deeply in trouble. So I said a little prayer.
What was it?
Dear Lord, when we are wrong, make us willing to change. When we are right, make us easy to live with.
Every member of Congress should have that prayer before him. Yes, sir. And it made me thought. Right, Joe.
What's this?
Joe's reminding me that I didn't come here to talk about myself, but that's a politician's failing.
Doesn't it make note that Katie can be where clouds? Peter John.
Son, forgive me. After so many years in politics, I've watched her being quiet.
Wow, teach you.
She certainly could.
Joe and I have an idea to make one of our best. Right, Joe? Right, sir. We hope you'll agree. I've discussed it with a good many of my colleagues, and they seem as enthusiastic as we are.
Now, tell the Senator that suspense is bad for me.
All right, I'll come straight to the point, which is a great sacrifice for me. But with your consent, I'd like to nominate you for chaplain of the United States Senate.
Chaplain of the Senate. Me.
Yes, sir. Wouldn't it be a wonderful challenge?
Kate, did you hear that?
Yes, I've heard.
You'd be a chaplain they'd listen to.
A few years ago, I was a Scottish immigrant, and now I'm being asked to accept the nomination of chaplain of the United States Senate. But wait, Senator, you realize that it's not what I want or what you want, but what God wants for me. I have to have a green light from Him before I make any decision.
Remember the sermon you preached, sir, called The American Dream?
I remember.
Every man and woman who wants the name of Jesus must fight together to make America good enough to lead the world, to make the American dream of opportunity come true for all.
Every man and woman. Now's my chance to fight for that dream.
Accept the nomination, and you'll be elected. The three of us can serve the Senate together.
It would be a great honor, not for myself, but a chance to do God's work in a new setting.
You can reach
others as you've reached me. We need a conscience in the Senate. It would be a very, very great responsibility.
Well, what a wonderful opportunity.
The greatest opportunity I've had to serve him yet. Then with your consent, I'll present the nomination tomorrow. You mustn't nominate me, Senator. Mustn't nominate you? I don't understand. I can't accept the nomination. Why, sir? My doctor feels that if I'm to live with this heart of mine, I must be less and less. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I appreciate your thinking about me. If circumstances were different. Of course. Well, I better be going. And Joe, you're overdue for that meeting. Yes, sir. Take care of yourself, Dr. Marshall. Don't bother to see me out, Mr. Marshall. I'll manage. Good afternoon.
Hope we haven't been too much of a strain on you, sir.
No, Joe, you don't know how good it makes me feel to see you doing so well. Keep those senators in mind.
I'll try, sir.
Steele, I know what it costs you to refuse that challenge.
I'd rather not talk about it, Kate.
Steele, we're not fighting today. I'll be out in a minute. Stay quiet, Peter.
I'll try, son.
I better check on that meeting. If you need anything, just ring.
If I need anything. Dear Lord, we would find you in the privacy of our own hearts in the silence of this moment. Help us to know that you are near us and beside us. Help us to know, O Lord, that when we reach up to you for help, you are also reaching down to us. All this we ask in the name of Jesus our Lord. Amen.
Dr. Marshall.
Miss Bickle, and Ellen too.
You are doing Easter bouquet.
Oh, I thank you. This is very thoughtful.
Why don't you sit down? Thank you. I'll put these flowers in some water.
It's been a long time, sir. Too long. Army life seems to agree with you.
Me looking at you in this uniform.
Now I have just the old shirt on my head.
These days, I say what I feel. I wasted too much of my time being afraid to speak out.
How is your sister?
Very different.
As a matter of fact, she's outside right now.
Outside? Well, ask her in.
She won't come in.
She's embarrassed, Dr. Marshall.
I think Judith kind of gets up on too hard to the justice. Judith,
Miss Bickle, come in.
I am in, Dr. Marshall. I do not know what these two have been saying about
Nothing
me.
Dr. Marshall hadn't suspected.
I did not plan on coming here today.
I'm glad you did. So nice to see you again.
Dr. Marshall, there is something I have to say to you, and putting it off isn't going to make it any easier, so I decided now is as good a time as any.
Miss Bickle, you don't need to say anything.
I do. I have been a member of New York Avenue all my life. You say I thought it had schools and rules before we were born, so you must say it. Over the years, I began to think of New York Avenue as my church. I thought I knew it was less to the church, and that my way was the only way to worship. How you clung to this immovable object. For many years, nothing budged me. Then I met you, Dr. Marshall.
The irresistible force.
You came crashing into New York Avenue, knocking my ideas every which way, putting air and sunlight into the place. I did not want to change. I was afraid to examine the positions that I defended, so I attacked you.
With vigor.
I was wrong. Wrong about you, about the church, about Alan. I almost lost Alan before I knew how wrong I'd been.
And Judith.
Then, God gave me the courage to write Alan and ask for his forgiveness, as I am now asking for yours.
God bless you, Miss Bickle.
Come back to us soon. After all, what is Peter Marshall's church without Peter Marshall?
Oh, Judith, you can be so nice.
Immoderately nice.
That's my Hopefully that didn't keep the time up.
I've never had a nicer gift.
How about it?
All right.
We've adjusted to army life.
I had to. It wouldn't adjust to it. There have been some hard times, but thanks to you, Dr. Marshall, I knew where to turn for help.
I'm glad to hear you say that, Alan. When you went into the army, you were running away from our Lord.
And instead, I ran right into his arms.
Alan, are you saying that
As soon as my army duty is over, I'm going to study for the ministry.
Alan, that's wonderful. I'm so happy.
and your doubts?
All gone. I was excusing my own weaknesses by turning you into some sort of Superman who never had any problems, never had to struggle.
Nothing could be further from the truth.
I know that. The greatness in you, sir, comes from your refusal to give up. Even when the odds seem all against you, you've never once forgotten that.
I've tried to keep my bargain with him.
I'll need all the help I can get, but come what may, I'm going to turn my life over to him to use GG says.
He'll make good use of you, Alan. He's given you a sanctified imagination.
Alan is distinguished overseas next week, Dr. Marshall. So soon?
God will keep you in his care.
I'm not afraid, sir. Once I might have been.
It's only when we don't know him that we're afraid. Once we do, there's nothing to fear. If we're not afraid to live, to die, we're not afraid at all.
I tried to explain that to some of the other men.
And once we're not afraid to die, we're no longer afraid to live.
And when we're not afraid to die, that's when we begin to live.
It's not important how long we live, it's how well. Whether or not we've kept our bargain with him.
Well, I wanted to look in on the gang in the back garden.
Alan, wait. Ask the gang to come in here.
In here?
Yes, all of them.
Okay, Mrs. Marshall.
Perhaps Judith and I should be leaving.
I want to stay, and we want you to stay. Don't we, dear?
Yes, indeed we do.
I hadn't noticed. All your clocks have stopped. A foolish move of mine. We're starting them all again, aren't we, dear?
It is what we both want.
It's what we both want. We've lost so much time already.
Alan said we should come in here.
Yes.
But as the doctor said, he should learn less than
But you're feeling better, sir.
Yes, immoderately good.
And Joe,
Yes, Mrs. Marshall?
we're going to call the senator and tell him we'd like to try for that nomination.
Kate, what nomination? Dr. Marshall is going to be nominated for chaplain of the United States Senate.
Barbara, can you still play piano?